I think Jesus is like a best friend sort of figure. You know, like anything that would attract you to a person, like, oh, I like that about someone. Everything that you'd like in someone, that would be what Jesus would be like. So you just walk up to him and you could talk for hours and never get bored because he's just that welcoming.
Well, I think Jesus is quite authoritative.
A compassionate and loving Saviour.
I think of Jesus as a loving person.
I see Jesus as very humble.
I think of Jesus as a caring God.
I think Jesus is almighty.
I think he's nice.
I think Jesus is a pretty trustworthy person. You can bring your concerns to him, and anything that's troubling you, you know he's going to understand.
I see prayer as like a time where you can speak to God, and I kind of image it like signal waves coming from earth to heaven.
When I think of prayer, I think of it like a time you can talk to God and tell him about all your worries.
When I think of prayer, I think of like when you're talking to your best friend, then you talk for hours and hours, and there's just so much to say.
And when I think of prayer, I think of worship.
When I think of prayer, I think about talking to God by yourself or in groups.
I think prayer is a really personal way of connecting with God.
A personal one-to-one between you and your divine Creator.
Prayer is the perfect time to open up and be honest with someone.
Whenever I think of prayer, I think of like a mobile phone with unlimited credit. It's there constantly and for everyday use.
I think God is a powerful leader.
A father with unconditional love who's there for you no matter what.
I picture God as like a sergeant in the army. He's on like the front line of his troops, ready to support them no matter what, lead them into battle.
An ever-present communicator and friend.
I see God as a king, sort of a powerful ruler.
When I think of church, I think about talking to God.
I think church is long. I think of church and songs of worship.
Whenever I think of church, I think of worship because it is definitely the best part of the service for me.
When I think of church, I think of it as a place to talk to God.
I think of church as a close-knit community.
A sense of togetherness, yeah, one which could be more outgoing.
I see church as something that challenges me.
Sometimes I think church can be very adult themed, and sometimes there still is children in the church during the sermons, and it does get very long and tedious.
When I think of worship, I think of song and prayer.
I think worship is joyful.
When I think of worship, I think of Bible reading because I love learning about what Jesus has done for us.
When I think of worship, I think of people singing and dancing and having a good time.
I see worship as a way of offering yourself up to God.
When I think of worship, I think of glorifying God.
I see worship as a really positive way of showing your love for God.
Contrasting styles and ideas, but all with the purpose of honouring God.